Newbee. It's going to be interesting to see them try and pull this off. EHOME, they look good.
This kind of first can be slowed down a
Huge. Just get fade. The cold embrace saving the day. AQ.
awareness EHOME has. That Newbee wants to play this fast, they want to be aggressive with their Tusk. If the rotations don't pay off anytime soon, then you've got two real EXP greedy supports that just won't have the space to get their timings up and running. We've seen that happen before with these kind of greedy supports. When they don't get the early game going for their team, they really fall behind.
That's very true. It's going to be very, very important to keep these calls on EHOME up as long as possible. Nothing else dominating in terms of boss. It's still 22-3, so you definitely don't want to let him lose that momentum in this mid lane. Dying once really does give AQ the advantage as XP, and that should allow him to run over him if that was the case. But now nothing's Ace looking to get an XP, and AQ go for a Spirit Siphon onto nothing to say. Take a fair bit of damage off him, but Flame Guard gonna keep him alive through most of it. AQ thought about throwing out a Crypt Swarm, but there's no real point with the Flame Guard. It was just gonna be blocked anyway. Do I actually have a pause coming? $150 mana now, so it's not quite as efficient, especially for a hero like Spectre who doesn't have the highest mana pool. It seems as though the farm is well worth it.
Definitely, it's going to be interesting to see if that affects these mid-game rotations we're going to be seeing out. In fact, Sin Q finds Fade. Just a bit of a poke.
That should mean a kill, surely. It is deep. Sin Q, it's not a fast process, but it'll keep pace. So far, Faith...
Silencer, these guys want to clump up together, find those early kills. They just haven't been able to do that. And they're going to be playing a farming game. Sure, Spectre is not playing, but Mugi's still not in the best of spots right now in terms of last hits. He's caught up just a fair bit ahead of Sylar, but it's still not that farm you're looking for on a Spectre so far. It's not been as free as you'd expect against a solo Scent for the most part, and there should be some predators in
Top shackle shot is going to get a Newbee. He's going to drop below, and they do find the first blood. Face begun, but once picked up, now YG rotate over to Y. He's will just chase, and Y is just always at the right spot at the right time as YG can't capitalize at all. The shackle from SyncQ doesn't quite latch onto the creeps that he was hoping for, but it doesn't matter. You say you're cool, you get a Spectre kill, you're going to be more than happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, up top, Siler.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
AQ. Rotation on Sala. He finds a great kill for his team. That's a pretty important
you
kill as well, considering Pos 1 just died.
Yeah, you trade away that kill for this LD, and you try to punish Beyond. He's got a Vanguard though. This is still a process.
Tower is under attack.
Beyond now going down. We see Wizard rotating onto the tank here now, setting up the build mid lane. They are going to go onto that Spectre once again. Moogie, he just he was just trying to get some free farm in that mid lane, but doesn't quite get there. And now why? He maybe just had that crucial land here. He's going to be more than happy about this. Give Pos 5 away for a Pos 1 any day of the week.
Definitely. Not only that, but Moogie had to expend his hawk there. So he's not going to have any presence in the next few team fights for a very long time. That's going to allow EHOME to take over the map just a bit more. 3-2 now at around 8 minutes in. Less than 1k net worth lead for EHOME. It's still a rough start for Newbee. They need to ramp up that aggression. They are starting to get that EXP going, especially with level 6 on Wizard. That has allowed them to find a couple of these kills. They're going to need to be much more active on the map to really capitalize off this sort of aggressive start they need to get done.
Slow it down a bit and just try and protect Moogie. He's just rotating to the jungle now. He's had enough of these lanes. He understands that you aren't going to give him the time of day, and he'll take the same farm. That's all he can afford. Just find a broom handle for himself, which will escalate his farm a little bit in that jungle lane. SyncQ rotate onto any Q, but doesn't quite find a shackle. So they will have to allow that kill to go down. The YG top lane locked off something with shards. It's really going to help. Silas Bear apparently hits through those ice shards. Oh, he gets the kill. 3-3.
Yeah, they rotate Wizard into the top lane to try to help out. Or soak the lane now, but that's going to open up the bot lane for Fabian to just take. Again, he's got his Vanguard early. He had it 6.5 minutes in. He's just going to tank the tower and take it out.
Very easy to is going to be broken off. He still has exorcism and is definitely still going to make this T1 push. And EHOME definitely not actually trying to defend his top T1, but rather they are going to force him the mid T1. And that's a pretty big win. EHOME, this is allowed to go on.
Definitely is. They've got one tower ahead of Newbee, even with that mid taken out. So you're trading away this top, which isn't really too valuable. In fact, you might lose your silencer too.
I mean, he took the outpost, so he does at least get some XP for his team off of his own line. T1 also end up dropping. EHOME do claim it for themselves. Newbee, they do get that T1. Again, EHOME going to be much happier about that. They found the most valuable talent in the game at this stage. And AQ had to commit exorcism for that T1 anyway, is why.
Does your collection of mystical artifacts now
Wizard now, just very, very deep in the Radiant jungle. And YG actually a very nice chance to block SyncQ out of his own jungle. He will try and run away, but SyncQ going to be blocked off, and with that tag team, it's going to be a very, very easy pickup. And Newbee now maybe looking to try and set up on that T1 mid themselves.
Yeah, they finally got a kill on the... So they've got one stack of int in the silencer. A little pickup for him. Still a bit of a slow start here for Newbee. Gonna have to ramp it up. I think they want to maintain, at the very least, tower parity with EHOME. That means they're gonna have to take to tier 1 very soon, but you want to be ahead with this kind of line. With the DP, with a Spectre, you need to give as much space as possible to Newbee. And you know, he's doing fine by himself in that bot lane, but the moment EHOME realizes there aren't many resources to protect their spec, they can definitely punish this kind of greedy core that we were talking about from the draft. I mean, all they need to do is just punish the Spectre, and the game plan for Newbee suddenly kind of just falls apart.
EHOME.
Is just punish the Spectre, and the game plan kind of just falls apart. You've got a bit of a deficit going on for Newbee as well. With this kind of early game oriented lineup, except in Spectre, you're playing at the 3k deficit in terms of gold, and that's going to be a rough thing to go over. Not only do you lack hard control, a lot of hard control on your heroes, when you mainly have silences, you are just going to be struggling to face off and keeping heroes from EHOME in place. They just don't have the tools to get that done for the most. They're going to have to commit hard, either throwing out the GS and any sort of movement, Tusk is around with the snowball and punch. Beyond that, there's no way for them to actually find these pickoffs, and EHOME is just perfectly comfortable just leaving Siler alone in the bear, and he's not going to blow down that lane.
Newbee smoked up, will find one in their own jungle, placing board on that defending front embrace on top, but YMB will have none of these. They're just secure the kill. Wizard having control enough to get out of here, but nothing to see. Power shot does connect, or almost connects rather. Wizard does manage to get away just in the nick of time. Nothing to say. Really want to just keep the chase on if he could. Realize he was just way too far. But that top tier one now going to be very open for Siler, and with Spirit Bear, not exactly very hard to take out towers.
It would appear Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Definitely, it's going to be rough for Newbee if they keep giving away these objectives. It's not the position they want to be in. They still haven't managed to really do too much damage to that mid themselves. You are seeing that bot lane getting shoved out by the Necrobots of respect, but that's not going to be enough to really knock it out just yet. Oh no.
Faith beyond. Down AQ, global stance will be there, but AQ, he's falling so low already. They've got that flame counter, but if he comes with it, trying to open the chat, just connects perfectly from AQ. Them to the trick. Wizard still doesn't have Rolling Thunder. It doesn't matter, but Winter Curse will fly to YG. Getting caught in the tree line. Faith, he knew he was there somehow. So that must be. He just wanted the main culprit, which was AQ. EHOME really establishing their dominance early on in this game. It's still a 6-5, but they've got a 3k birth lead on the Dire side. And it seems as though they're smelting Moogie and want to try and go after the Spectre again, but Moogie, he'll immediately just TP at the top lane. He just doesn't want to be involved in this at all. And so instead, it's back to Radiant side jungle. What's going on? And then that Newbee can't farm this jungle whatsoever.
That's fair enough. I mean, they have taken over that area. They want to apply some pressure onto that tier 2. Instead, Newbee, they understand Newbee just takes the space for himself, goes up top to farm that jungle area as well. And they already probably spotting this out with Sado. The turns right now. It's going to be not really going to be revealed here, and that does keep Newbee safe for a bit longer. Still, it's a long catch-up game for our respect. 5.8k net worth. Compare that to pretty much all the cores in EHOME sitting at 7.4. Really good farm distribution for EHOME so far. And Newbee, they're not in a completely rough state. 4k deficit at 15 minutes in is rough. They need to hold out. Like, they've lost that early game momentum. They need to try to get themselves going in this moving point, and at the very least buy space for Newbee to get big. He is building up towards his Yasha now. And again, with that Necro for him to clear out the camps.
Yeah, no. That's the aim. Game now for Newbee. They understand this. Just give Moogie time. Moogie will eventually get to the point where he just outscales everybody on the side of EHOME. should just be able to be again smoked up, trying to get aggressive. 3 heroes, they do find nothing. A global stance immediately being thrown in, nothing to say about the force of the global stance. Going to win off soon, surely, but not soon enough. Winter's Curse from Y would at least slow down YG, but it's not quite enough damage. And Power Shot doesn't actually land from the right side. Take a run. Now the Hawk going to come into vision. Buki comes in to keep on Fade beyond. Wyatt still trying to off the Wyvern. Fade kind of has the help track. Sin-Q getting caught out now off the Wind Ranger. Is everybody going in one by one? Sapa, he's as well. Nobody's left. He jumps in for a 4-man tombstone. They're not going to... Sylar, look at change the shots fly out there. Perfect vision of pain. He's just sticking around. He just wants to make his presence known. You do not care. They find him for nothing. The only man left standing is the Centaur. He's just going to wait around for his team to respawn and go for a bit of a trade now. For a couple of something to say. What's that going to be immediate start coming up from A? And the shards again. And all these silences. Newbee really being the bane of EHOME's existence.
EHOME just throwing away a nearly 5k lead from those back-to-back wipes, losing their mid-tier 1 as well. This is exactly what Newbee needs to get done, and props to them for finally finding the engagements they need. They get a good amount of int onto their silencer, and top of all of that, they take a key objective, they kill really big heroes from EHOME's side. It's going to be rough for EHOME if they don't have a way to counter the silence just yet. They were coming in rather awkwardly as well. It felt like there was some issues with synchronizing their movement there, kind of streaming in one by one. And once you give that to Newbee, they're just going to take it. That's going to get a lot more money going in the way of Mugi. He's working towards this Radiance now. He's just about to pick up that Sacred Relic, about 1,000 gold away, so not too far out considering that rough start. And once that Spectre has the Radiance, then the presence of this hero is just going to be that much bigger.
It certainly will be. EHOME, they've got to find an answer for this. Just trying to get more farm up on Sylar, who's already getting close to an MKP, so he does have the answer for that evade the Radiant starts to provide. Seems like that may even not be enough. We'll see. Sylar, you just saw that last team fight. If he gets caught out alone, able to separate, engage, so easy. Kill off the actual lone druid, and of course the Spirit Bear would go with it. And now EHOME look to make a smoke of their own. They know Mugi was there. Stampede now, smoke broken, they jump straight away. And with that, moves up immediately on. Global Stance was popping that big horn. He will get out. Winter, more than all in the Sin-Q. The first one, but the curse, it has a spawn. The Silence should die, but can they find any more out of this? Faith gun now, wanted to lap off, but nothing to say. He'll move forward. Slide double big stop. Faith slowly dropping with that X. The Colvin Brute is going to be there once again, but they should have enough self-doubt. Faith is still climbing on this, but finally does go down. There's nothing to say now. Gonna have to run for it. He does have remnants, he'll be fine. But they give up their Centaur and their Ranger for the sake of the position 5 silencer, and they just can't find Mugi. That global silence again and again, just haunting EHOME.
Yeah, they're gonna need BKBs on EHOME. We talked about that from the drafting phase even, that they will need a way to counteract these silences, and that Newbee had ways of dictating the terms of engagement that hasn't been showing up in these last few fights. If EHOME's not going to be careful, they're going to bleed out all the gold, that beautiful lead they had in that laning phase. Just going to be all for naught, as you are seeing our DP tied right there in that fort. So we've got AQ catching up quite nicely. We've got the Spectre at 8.5k now, not too far behind. Again, with that Sacred Relic up, going to be very close at Radiance, and Newbee going to take this time to go into that Roche pit. They don't have the global silence, they don't have the haunt just yet, but EHOME's definitely not set to take that fight anymore.
And Newbee, they're looking great. First rotation off again, going to go easily straight inside. Now with the Aegis on himself, going to feel a lot more comfortable across this map. He almost has the Radiance up, and I'll expect Newbee to get very aggressive once that Radiance is there. It's one rotation from the Spectre. Try to get that Aegis down. So, EHOME, but fourth in the mid tier 2 now.
Strange to say, Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Trying to defend this. AQ and YG also there. The silence should be there on the Ember. Just not able to actually secure this 2 at all. EHOME just don't feel confident, it seems, to actually jump in and take the team point either. You can't, they know the Spectre could always jump in at any time. Though the horn was on down, is now off, so it was very, very close. They will win nothing.
Yeah, I think that's a safe play coming out from EHOME. They don't want to lead too much. Right now, Newbee is just way too strong with what they have. Naturally, their supports at their peak point. Pangalier's just causing havoc. There's no BKBs yet on any of the heroes EHOME has, so the counter initiation is going to be a bit rough once the global silence is out. And they do have Yules under Ember at very least, so nothing to say can still cast spells after using himself. Still not the situations to be in. And okay.
Almost got trapped by the shards, but he had a remnant anyway. He would have been fine. That worth grab, and it's still the way of EHOME. Maybe haven't quite found that lane silence can be thrown out. Snowball, knockable now, but they could use on now with the Spirit's Land. It may be he gets a stampede, and now the double shackle. CQ will stop place, but with Rolling Thunder going to be there, just rolling forward, truck by somebody. They'll commit the curse to make sure he can't raise them and down, maybe try and burn this as Sylar starts on Wizard, but he's still Rolling Thunder going and down the side. Again from AQ, but then Cooks will be there on Bingo. He's still alive thanks to those can't breathe, but for long he does eventually drop. Why? So the secondary to go down, so 1-for-1. He will buy back to now. Getting caught out by Faith. Young should be dead and does go down, but nothing to say. He's getting even lower. Raise. Getting rooted up. The big stop. Can get it a second time. AQ really has not the mana, so he can't join the fight again and moving. Understands.
Radiance was finished up on Mugi. They had a lot of confidence going into that Haunt fight. They had
AQ really has no demand until he can't join the fight.
slow things down, and that was enough for EHOME to get the proper response going. So they've bounced back about 4k advantage on EHOME's side, 15-10 at 24.5 minutes in. Newbee, they've still got a lot of potency in this draft. I think you want to see the DP definitely melt a few more towers. They still are behind in terms of objectives. That tier 1 down bot still standing for EHOME, giving them a lot more access to their jungle area than they really should. And, you know, even with that Radiance on Mugi, he's not quite tanky yet. He's going to need some more items to really boost up his HP. That's going to take a little while of building up, and that's time Newbee has to buy.
Start buying it. Maybe feeling the momentum now, maybe feeling a lot more confident for these next engagements. Again, they'll take over the Radiant side. Like that possible win range of SynQ now has an MKB up as well. That's a little concerning.
Oh yeah. I mean, SynQ's just saved up for it. He just saved up the entire time for that MKB. And it's pretty good timing. Like, he's been playing that sacrificial support this time along with his Wind Ranger, and there is a smoke from Newbee. We're gonna find out the hard way.
Say, gonna break the smoke off. Go just throw the chains out and well hunted. They're not able to make the jump. They're still chasing him down. I've got AQ there with the bleeding suit. That guaranteed silence off, but nothing to say. He was TPL. And so the smoke rotation mounts nothing, and nothing to say again. Gonna remnant back down after TP. Newbee should not be expecting to be.
Oh, Mugi.
trying to bait the red, bait beyond, just waiting for the right moment. AQ, he's in the front line. X moves forward again, straight onto Summer this time. He pops that silence. Global silence is also going to be there. They really want to just get rid of this low fluid, but he's slow running them just fine. Bait looking for the perfect stop, the shackle. Stinks Newbee gets on two. They've lost faith on the silencer. It looks bad already for Newbee. It's now EHOME. They start moving forward confidently. Nothing to say. Do you really keep going here? Well, with that BKB, I think you do. But it does get wrong. Son of Shane's going to be there on the payload. Now and does get an 8 trap to SinQ. Trying out another shackles and fade. He gets the hoof stop. They'll find secondary. In fact, now nothing to say. Remnants forward. Look for that EQDP. He has a remnant in 3 seconds. He might just give up on it. In EHOME, they're start actually rushing towards that bot tier 3 tower. I doubt they actually go for this. They don't even have a creep wave right now. But they are certainly starting to establish their dominance.
Definitely. I think EHOME understands that when Newbee pops these ults, they cannot take any fight afterwards. They have to wait for the haunt. They have to wait for the extra system. They have to wait for that global silence. So every time that committal comes up from Newbee, and even though Newbee does lose their cores, it's going to be hard for them to get anything done in the next minute or so. And that opens up EHOME for this high ground push down mid.
Looks on the band, and the T3 drops very, very quick. They get started up once. The Shards do help the Rolling Thunder, but now they don't. Getting out the Rolling Thunder standing back. Oh, Chains of Fate beyond. Jumps in with the hoof and the shackles from SinQ. But the global stick going to be kept from YG. But it's not good. AP's been caught out. YG has also been caught. And with only 2 heroes remaining, there's no chance of this mid-max being defended.
Very close.
Play EHOME just taking everything they can get before they leave.
Definitely. Just forcing that buyback from EQ really hinders what Newbee can do now in this downtime. They can't commit too hard to any sort of fight. If the Roshan's up and it's going to be up in around 20 seconds, they can't really contest it safely. But they're going to have to because AQ does not have buyback. They can't afford to give that objective away. They want a way to keep their DP in the fight. Granted, if the DP dies with extra system off anyway, it's going to be a rough fight. But you want that option available. So Newbee, they're going to be playing on the back foot here, 2 racks down. No buyback on their DP. They get scanned out from YZ as well. So that does give EHOME some awareness as to where Newbee is posturing at.
Should be where this is happening. With that scan they had earlier, they are starting to run forward. Each slide of this will give them enough vision to know, but that Roshan is still on. They have to be really quick and they won't have the time. They tried power shot for some more vision. And so, very, very pick up from Newbee. That should have delivered the game a little bit longer. Give a bit more time. Moogie, who does now pick up Manta style. Still need a lot more than that, that's for sure. No, it spot someone at top, and it is going to be YG, but he runs through the tree line at medium 2 beats. Y is going to be around, doesn't have any vision in that tree, so they're just start pushing up a little instead.
Again, Newbee, they're gonna have to play cautiously here. Even with that Aegis on Moogie, you still don't have buyback in AQ. It's gonna be a while until that's up, around 6 minutes until that option is available. At the very least, you don't have the gold on Moogie as well for a buyback. So even with that Aegis, I think the issue here is
Fade beyond, following up on shot. Very, very low. He does have rolling thunder. definitely does not want to play right now. Nice shots coming from YG. Is it going to be enough? They go after the Spirit Members. Cold Embrace is going to save them now. They do eventually get the kill, but there's Kurt coming out on the pang though. He's dropping below and should die. Sala, he picks kill with the new Spirit bit. No, after YG does all go down. Now Newbee, just a sitting duck. I'll have an Aegis at least. But moves for one. There's nothing. He moves forward and the GP's been called. They can't defend it by me. One looks away from being up game. EHOME, very aggressive plays, losing the game through.
Yeah, it's a really clean game coming out from EHOME. There were a couple of moments where Newbee did look strong. They lost way too much in that early game. When you draft a support duo like Silence or Tusk, you have to win that early game hard. They didn't get that domination.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team, Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team, Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining.
And we are here for game number 2 of this best of 3 series between
Dire team
EHOME and Newbee. It is MLP Durandonic Fire, John. Game number 1, EHOME. I wouldn't say it was a completely dominant victory, but they did look pretty darn good going into that mid game. I'd like to ask game number 2, what do you think Newbee need to be doing differently?
I think Newbee's got to shake up their draft execution. I don't think it was
Radiant team
completely bad draft. I don't think they managed to maximize it though. Like you wanted that silencer tusk combination to do a lot more work. It did not quite hit that potential it should have. So you know you missed out a lot in that early to mid game. You didn't quite as much as you wanted. Fairy Spectre and in turn you can't really expect as much as he could towards that late game end.
Radiant team
Pick that up here. If they go all in on draft like that, they have to make sure it works. You stick those two heroes together. If not, you know, you run a bit more of a flexible draft. EHOME, they open up Brimstroke Pangolier, a really potent combination off the bat. Newbee did steal the center off, and they take the Phoenix as well, which is of course your namesake.
Absolutely, it's a great hero guy. I love seeing it. Of course, we have seen Faith Beyond play the Phoenix, or rather, it's going to be Newbee anyway. I was going to say, could have been Faith Beyond or Q, but Newbee with that Phoenix, John. I love seeing the hero, and I think it's going to add a lot of value here to Newbee. What a team fight. You've got the Sentinel there as well to really stampede and initiate, cause havoc throughout these engagements, and make it very hard for EHOME to get anywhere near this Phoenix egg. Not to mention, with this support duo that they've already picked up on the side of EHOME, they don't exactly auto-attack very fast.
No.
It's not going to be easy to rely on your supports to take down the egg, while the cores just do what they have to do.
Definitely not. This is going to allow EHOME to draft their cores around that Phoenix Spectre. They could get a ranged core that should be able to take care of it just fine. I do like the ban out Newbee did put in, the Jug ban out that would have been really bad for Phoenix to deal with, mainly because you could just perk that slow off and spin and right click freely onto that egg. So taking that option away from EHOME definitely helps the cause of Newbee. I like the shake up in their draft. It's a much more solid combination. They've got a lot more control with the Centaur in there. They've got great sustain and damage coming out to that Phoenix. They are still kind of level dependent, especially with that Phoenix, but EHOME now, they pick up the Lifestealer. They've got a great natural vehicle in that Pangolier. They've got a way to mitigate the attack speed slow that the Phoenix brings and the magic damage the Phoenix brings with that lifestealer. So I don't see too many issues for EHOME in dealing with that egg now, at least with his lifestealer.
Yeah, assuming doesn't have a direct counter that something that goes through that rage.
5 seconds
okay,
remaining.
just take care of it himself. Still need to be have 3 picks. They have plenty of time to
Radiant
find
team,
something to make it hellish for this lifestealer to break that gap, and there's one of them. The Bane with the Fiends is going to be rather hard to go through, but EHOME, they don't really worry about that. They go for Nature's Prophet, and I believe that is going to be an offlane Prophet being played by Faith, and we've seen him on this hero before, and he can be very, very devastating on this POS 3 Prophet, and that's also kind of another way to break
10
that gap.
seconds remaining.
Get Phoenix Egg, just take care of him, or alternatively,
5
just go on
seconds
the Bane
remaining.
instead. Ensure he can't control your life stealer, and you can also do it that way.
Definitely. I do like the pickup here from EHOME. The Rage Prophet we have seen do a lot of work. Again, he got, I'd say, substantially buffed up in the patch recently, so his Wrath does give him a lot more right-click damage as well, as long as it kills creeps, his ultimate, so that does buff up his push and does buff up the damage he deals in
Radiant
fights.
team.
Can of course clear out the Phoenix X as you mentioned, and he does give you some great pushing presence. And he's a good vehicle for the left split. But Newbee, they do pick up the spirit for themselves, and this is going to be an issue for EHOME. They don't quite have the best of stuns to keep a hero like that in its place. They do have the soul bind, so if they do manage to catch someone with a storm, bind them together, that's going to mitigate the
10
mobility
seconds
of
remaining.
that storm spirit. But beyond that, they don't really have the best of stuns to
5
keep a hero like that
seconds
in its
remaining.
place.
It's very true. Seems like a very free Storm game, and of course Storm loves going up against Prophet, who can be a bit of a slippery hero to catch. He's gonna have to be a little wary of how he split pushes and where he really locates himself. Teleport can be a very, very easy target for the Storm to jump on. Oh, they do have one pick to try and make they have some sort of counter towards the Storm, but it's not going to be easy to fight, that's for sure, as EHOME. They'll go into their 6th bag. Lacking a position 1. I wonder what they've got up
Dire
there
team back.
looking for it. But now EHOME, they get rid of the Slug, which is fair enough. It is one of those heroes that can deal with the lifestealer quite well. Be looking to ban out some kind of mid-core for
10
EHOME.
seconds remaining.
Something that Storm doesn't really like going against. Unfortunately for Storm, there's
5
plenty of
seconds
heroes he doesn't
remaining.
like going against. There's so many you can ban.
I think the bigger mystery here for Newbee is what core do they go for? They need something that can probably come in line a bit faster. The Storm Spirit is going to be eating up a lot of that space. You're going to want the core that shouldn't take too long to come online. You want something that can deal with towers as well. Yeah, I reckon something like, I think the Lone Druid would be okay. Like, that does take a bit of a ramp up, but as we saw in the last game, Sylar, all he needed was really a Mask of Madness on the bear, and that in. It might not be the best against a lifestealer, but the root is pretty darn good against that hero, so that is an option you could be looking at for your last pick.
Could also go for the Troll, right? Like, Troll doesn't take quite as long. It pretty much does a similar thing. He works well up against the lifestealer. He has that snare, and they don't really have a counter towards it apart from maybe the Pango.
Dire
who,
team
can get that disarm with the Lucky Shot. For
Radiant
now,
team
Newbee, they do go ahead and ban out that mid puck, and there's the Troll coming out. So, Newbee, I think it's a very smart pickup. I don't think EHOME have the tools with the Storm or the Troll right now, and it's kind of a matter of you've got to make a decision. Which one do you care about more? And I still personally think the Storm is probably more important to counter
10
here.
seconds remaining.
But EHOME, they have they have plenty of time to
5
think
seconds
about.
remaining.
Yeah, the biggest issue they have is that the Storm Spirit can really just zip into their back lines, no problem. And after that, you have great follow from the Centaur, great follow from that Phoenix. You're gonna need a mid that really just mitigates that. I would have said something like the OD would have been great, mainly because the troll's there, but it's gonna be a bit hard with that Storm. It's not quite the answer you want for a hero like that. It does look like he is gonna have to think hard. The Puck would have been great. Like, that just stops the Centaur ultimate from being as useful as well, so there's value in that. They go with the Lina instead, so you've got this early burst coming out now for EHOME. You've got some pretty good laning presence there as well, nothing to say, of course, going to be on that hero. At the very least, it gives you a way of control early on. It still leaves them really vulnerable to the Storm Spirit zipping in and out, so EHOME has a very big vulnerability there that Newbee can just abuse.
It seems like EHOME might be just trying to dominate the lane up against that Storm. Like, maybe if you shut down AQ in the laning phase and just slow down his farm, it might buy enough time for Faith Beyond to pick up something like an Orchid. And you know, if you slow down the Storm farm, it's not like he wants to rush something like a BKB anyway. So maybe that's the play. Maybe that's what they're trying to do here. And we're gonna find out. Of course, nothing to say. Had a pretty darn good game last time around. We have seen the AQ Storm before, John, and this man is very, very scary on this hero. So far, I think we could both agree that Newbee draft does just look a little bit better.
I think it looks better than game one. They have, again, that Storm with no real answer from EHOME from just winning their lanes. I think the issue is this time around, Newbee's earlier start doesn't feel like it's gonna be as well, you know, game one it wasn't dominant anyway, so perhaps they do shake it up a bit. This is a very much an easier combat. Coming out from this is going to be Newbee is to once again win out in that early game. I think that's always gonna be their game plan here. Just they can't cede space to EHOME, because once you do, you've got a Lina who can push fast, you've got Fate Beyond on the NP, and he's just a total menace with that here. Just split pushing hard. You've got to watch out for where he is on the map. And you can't give EHOME that space. You have to kind of slow them down as best as possible, get these team fights going with your Phoenix, with your Storm, with your Centaur, and snowball from there.
Absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. Of course, the odds are on the screen right now, John. EHOME, the heavy favorites going into this game number 2. How will that? So I still think Newbee have a very, very good chance of being this one off. But EHOME, they can play very dominantly, as we
30
saw.
seconds to battle.
It's quite hard to make that prediction.
Is this on?
We'll see. I have a feeling we're going to see EHOME get a lot more aggressive early on this game as well. You do have that global presence with the Prophet.
Oh, that is too good.
Much easier just to try and set up, make sure all these lanes go poorly.
The battle
For now,
begins.
Sylar going to try and steal a bounty rune off Wizard. He's playing the offlane Centaur. It doesn't quite get away with it, but it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade anyway, so it's still a very even start. And I've got to say, for Sylar on this lifestealer, this does not look like the easiest lane in the world. Centaur Phoenix just seems disgusting to have to play against, to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's not going to be a fun time to lane up against that first. Both of these heroes do pretty much just melt through a strength hero like Sylar. He's not going to be able to trade as favorably as you'd expect. I'd say level, even level 2 is going to be a dangerous time for him. That Newbee can apply a lot more with stun and the damage that could come out at that point.
Already White taking a fair bit of damage on that Grimstroke, and it's only due to get worse with YG on that Phoenix. Especially once you hit that level 3 mark, you have the level 2 Fire Spirits. 40 damage per second. It's pretty disgusting though. Mid lane, AQ falling very low already, up against the same, being forced to sell up quite early on.
Yeah, he caught 2 Light Strike arrays in a row. And follow-up damage from pure right clicks from something like Lina is just devastating. There we go again.
It's not easy, and this is, I guess, this is what I'm trying to talk about in the drafting phase, right? Like, if you could just dominate the lane like this, AQ, he Tango one Fairy Fire in the tank anyway, so nothing to say. If he lands another LSA right now, it could have been pretty disastrous, but AQ already Fairy Fire, already brings out another salve. He'll be okay, though top lane, Faith Beyond falling very low. Wizard pretty much doing the exact same thing, also losing quite a lot of HP. Everyone seemingly just bringing out more salves as time goes on.
It's not too much of a different story from game one. We saw this kind of posturing from both teams, just really draining out gold by committing the resources to sustain their lanes. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we see that same time for right around 5 to 6 minutes in, unless we see Newbee actually step up their aggression. I don't think EHOME's under any pressure to make their work out more than Newbee is. They've got these strong dual lanes that they have to make work.
Lane AQ goes for a Vortex, nothing to say. He really wanted to try and go after the Courier of the Storm, and that would have really shut AQ down, but nothing to say. Salves up, and well, the uphill miss. The confidence in this laner to assume that it would miss anyway, and it wouldn't cancel the salve off. Just still attacking away, and poor AQ. Yeah, that's going to be quite demoralizing if you are the Storm.
Definitely. This lane has been consistently rough for AQ. He's at 5 last hits now, compared to nothing to say at 16 to 11. Complete domination coming from EHOME, at very least in the mid lane.
Huge. The other lane we haven't really talked about much is the top lane where Mugi, CQ Faith Beyond. CQ is being very, very frustrating with that with the swashbuckle and the lucky shot. Constantly disarming the mid lane. There is a gank attempt, nothing to say. He is going to be the first blood. YG rotated Phoenix. He had those level 2 fire spirits, the AQ and his Vortex. It was more than enough damage to ensure the Lina went down.
Yeah, they definitely put a lid onto that Lina. Just way too much being lost out from AQ. He needs that good start on the Storm. So Wardfall rotation from Newbee. And you can see the difference from EHOME's draft. They don't have anything on wide to save his course anymore, so he's not going to be bothering TPing in.
Oh, lane, Sylar. He's still going to be playing on the live sim. They do get that massive stun off, but Wizard, just such a tanky target. It has the Ring of Trask anyway, so just huge regen numbers on this Centaur. He doesn't even need to have regen on him. He just passively regen up. But they will at least, you know, kind of make him feel a little bit uncomfortable in this lane. Wizard will just farm underneath his tier 1 anyways. He's not going to be too concerned. Why is she mid? Once again, looking to try and make a play on nothing to say. Now with the does go down, and now Faith, can you find any form of trade? He cannot. He's forced to back. AQ has the haste anyway, so it's not like he was going to die. And while all that was happening top lane, and Mugi was able to take down the Pangli, who was left alone.
Yeah, that's a big set of wins going the way of Newbee. Just rather unfortunate for EHOME that they aren't finding these early trades, but this is exactly what Newbee needs to get that start going. This is a big difference from game 1. Although Wizard is very low.
Stretch of Fate does connect. A little bit, but it was no good. Why just waited for that perfect opportunity. It was alone.
Yeah, that's a big set of wins going the way of Newbee. Just rather unfortunate for EHOME that they aren't finding these early trades, but this is exactly what Newbee needs to get that start going. This is a big difference from game 1. Although Wizard is very low.
Stretch of Fate does connect. It was alone.
Yeah, that's a big set of wins going the way of Newbee. Just rather unfortunate for EHOME that they aren't finding these early trades, but this
Sprout blocking it Faith, he can't get out of this one surely. The LSA does land, but he will find a secondary, and now YG doesn't have Icarus. Moogie's rotated over on the troll, and it's just going to be an all-out brawl fest in this mid lane. Faith Beyond drops the trees. The trees will be enough to sway the side of Newbee. But man, it's not too often you see so many heroes like this in the mid lane just behind the 2-1 tower.
Definitely not. That's quite the set of rotations coming out, especially the rotation for Newbee. I think that's a big surprise. Him dipping out to try to find those kills. Doesn't even have his level 6 yet, so he does sacrifice some time farming up. He is going to have to walk back to his lane to get some out. And of course, Fate Beyond just teleports around, so not a massive issue for that MP. Surprised Newbee went so far after copying those losses still. Fate Beyond.
Getting chased down. France, however, he does get it now. Fate's trying to block the way with the trick. It's going to be no good. The Treants do block again. Meanwhile, Q going down to AQ. Sprout, Fate Beyond, he's still trying to outrun them. Teleport, he will get out. The courier may not be so lucky, but Moogie hasn't actually spotted it. Never mind that's the mid lane, but to say, going to get jumped on by AQ, and he's level 6 now, the Storm, and that's going to be a double kill coming out for AQ. And this was the problem we talked about as well in that draft phase. Like, once you see AQ at level 6, you just don't have an answer.
Yeah, that's going to be a massive issue for EHOME now. They're going to have to try to take it slowly. You need more farm on the Sylar to really get going, man.
Radiant's middle tower
Gets a solid pick off onto Wizard, who was trying to creep skip on the Centaur. It's a very easy one. It was just an E12 and a silence. That's all it took. Still Newbee. They're going to be very, very happy with the way this game's going. They are maintaining a 1k net worth lead for now. But AQ, pumping up his call out. Will nullify it, or nullify on the way. Now with the Nightmare on Q, do they follow up? Not quite.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's got down. AQ's there. Also be there on the Pango, but Faith is dropping rather quick. He's going to be there as well. Faith still surviving, but does take out to the Fire Spirits. AQ get away with the kick free. They'll lose their Phoenix, but they'll be more than happy with taking Faith Beyond's life.
Yeah,
it's a Storm.
Definitely, it's a much better story here for Newbee so far. Managed to successfully find these early kills. EHOME has been keeping up at very least 5 to 6, not too shabby for EHOME. Still Newbee maintaining that slight 1k net worth lead. I think they're going to need a lot more to get going. The best factor here is that Moogie really has free farm up top, so he's not being contested on. And this could end up being a very, very hard thing for EHOME to deal with, a free farm troll. In fact, you know, you don't really see Stylar having that same freedom in his own lane. He's been contested pretty hard from the side of Newbee and EHOME. I don't think they've managed to really relieve that pressure on their lifestealer.
No, they definitely haven't. With the lifestealer, it does take a bit more farm, a bit more items to really be as effective as a troll. It doesn't need too much. Newbee definitely in the driver's seat. So they are going to look towards that bot lane now. Wiz trying to secure this bounty rune. They're picking up. How the silence flies out of Sylar. He'll join in. But then looks like one of them may have been denied. It was 2 to the side of Newbee, 1 to Faith Beyond, Profit. And one of them just disappeared.
Yeah, I reckon it might have been a deny. Now I know what explanation for it. Every single spot and map is taken off. Still, you get a bit of a golden record going the way of Newbee. And they do find themselves with the 2k advantage now at the 10-minute mark. This is big, right? It's much better story. They've certainly got much more momentum going for themselves. It's not quite that massively you want to see yet, but it's a good start. And they do smoke up on their Storm.
Be another big kill for AQ. A run past the Roshan pit down the river. There are 4 heroes here from EHOME. Also smoked up on nothing to say in CQ, so it's a very mirrored kind of play. Nothing to say. He has a look at jumped on straight away on that lane phase. Can you lock these guys down? No, and this is Laguna, but the finish trip there in time. Let be dropped. Let's go down in the air. It will be picked up all the way. Running down 2 heroes.
Oh my god.
The rolling thunder but they'll lose Y in the process, and now the troll. Can he survive this damage? He gets dash! Oh, the What would... Oh, Roshan is apparently happy with EHOME this.
Oh no.
At least get out on the profit, but how unlucky can you get? A first hit bash from Roche himself. It's going to be a 2 to 3 trade for Newbee.
The funny thing is that Sin Q actually procced the right click on Roche. He was trying to go for the deny early on. And you know, this arm wasn't long enough that he just turned around silently, which he got the last hit at the end. So rather unfortunate for EHOME, still a really good trade by way of Newbee. 7 to 9. Looked a bit rough. Like if they actually lost Mookie there, that would have not been worthwhile. But they do still manage to trade much in the end. And this is to slow down EHOME just a fair bit. You did lose AQ, but you gained a lot more for all the rest of your heroes, and that's gonna definitely help your cause here. Maintain a 3-way lead now. The side of Newbee, 12.5 minutes in. A much better story than game 1, and if they can carry this momentum, EHOME, they're gonna have more and more issues with that Storm Spirit.
Yeah, not that Bane, but won't be able to quiet the distance. B, grouping up as 3 down bot. You'll pretty much seeing his 5 now in their own jump. Not feeling comfortable to really be a part like that. We'll go back to for a time in Yasha. And I love the right because that time allows you very, very early on. He won't get any really strong. He might have the advantage, then push his advantage. See how fast he picks up when he gets out of his team. Meanwhile, where's AP? He does have that Kyra up. Straight to the Bloodstone after that. And once you got that Bloodstone up, it becomes that much harder to stop AQ because you got the activity to heal you up, but as well as that, he just has so much regen. There's really no need to go back to the base unless you die.
Definitely. It's again, building off it just EHOME has. They just have to respond to this. Sure, they have really good bursts in their arena. It's starting to really lack in terms of just blowing someone up all day long.
Swell, gonna be there on Bane. It looks like it should be a very easy pass by pure fate. Knows he can't do it. About that. Nothing to say it even rotates down on the lead. You can just see the caution coming out from EHOME this game. They're just constantly TPing everyone down, even for a position 5 kill, just to ensure that there's no kind of bait play or no traps being laid from Newbee.
Mainly because if Newbee brings in their Phoenix, they just, you know, they need superior numbers to deal with that egg every single time. They need to clump up for that. They're never sure if the supports will show up, and this is a very good smoke coming out from them. Can they find anything though?
Samsung picking up the season all alone. Nice little dodge there, nothing to say. Can he actually get out of this? The season's going to be available with him, and now EHOME jumping in with the Soulbind. They caught out AQ, but they've already lost that leader. It's not great news, as EHOME, they do have to back off. Why she gets the air god, VR can be passed down. They will at least find the Bane on the opposing side, but they'll lose their core profit, they'll lose Y on the Grimstroke, and it's going to be another 1-for-3 trade in the favor of Newbee. That's a lot of gold and XP behind the way of this Dire side again. They should be able to capitalize by at least finding the spot one.
Yeah, EHOME not going to be very happy with that trade. None of the fights are just going away. Like 9 to 12 now, Newbee with 4K advantage, taking out that tier 1 down. But still, surely taking away resources from the map for EHOME, and the only boon EHOME has is that Sylar is farming up alone, uncontested. So he's got himself quite safe. He's building up towards his Desolator. Is that going to be enough to deal with all this? Probably not. He's going to need a lot more in these fights, and as they take their time with their Lifestealer, Mugi just continues to grow big, and we're not seeing EHOME finding these soul pickups that they want to have. They just haven't been able to get it rolling anymore.
I think EHOME, they've got to work their BKB on nothing to say. Like, I just don't see them being able to fight unless he has it up. So we've seen it over and over again. Every single time they'll jump the lane and they're sure that they don't have that real FPS output they need. Seeing Q though, bot lane, gonna find the lane just with the roll of thunder and swashbuckle, it's not gonna be nearly enough. They will happily walk out and Newbee. They were waiting for the moment where they could
Dire's
just
top tower is under attack.
take the team fight up
I
under.
repeat myself.
Better off it. They may get another chance now anyway. EHOME remaining
Dire's
groups
top
up.
tower is being attacked like
I'm gonna
nobody's
start
business.
moving across the river where AQ will get spotted. Get the salt for the time, not quite. AQ immediately. Silence is there, but CQ he can't keep the distance with the X-Roll. And well, in the dire side, there's Shala. He's near caught on the life stealer, but Rage will come out, but immediately the Fuse Grip and the battle trance from Boogie gonna be more than enough. Sala absolutely had no chance of something like that.
Yeah, there's just no way. They've got the Bane with the Fiend's Grip. He has no way of just getting around freely with his Rage. And this is just issue after issue for EHOME that they have no response for. They smoke now. Find something. Perhaps they can at least get this in.
Saying now, they do commit the unit for this rolling thunder. They just want to make sure that they get the kill.
They are positively
They're okay with that, but the problem is they're losing their mid-tier 1 while all this has been happening. So Newbee will still be able to capitalize off this lifesteal death and their own centaur death.
middle tower has fallen.
Remain 10 to 13, 5k net worth lead for Newbee going into this. There's just no end in sight.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I just don't know what you can pick
I
up
have no
here for
reason to
EHOME
lie
apart from
about
that
such
BKB
things.
on the laner to really turn this around. It looks like Sala is going for a Deso. So armlet Deso build, fairly standard stuff for lifestealers right now. They're still going to have that control with the bank script though.
Yeah. It's rough, right? He's gonna need something like perhaps Lincoln's down the line, but it really doesn't do too much for his damage output, and it does feel like EHOME is kind of lacking there. You saw how much they had to come for a target. I don't think that's going to carry over too well when you're trying to kill off the Storm Spirit AQ. He has his Bloodstone now, so it's going to be just that much harder to burst down that Storm Spirit as well. And of course, the Troll can delay these fights with a Battle Trance for a bit longer. So you've got some pretty good ways of prolonging these fights in EHOME. They just don't really have anything.
They've smoked up again. And nothing to say, actually switching out the BKB now. He goes for a Kaya and he's going for a Bloodstone. Interesting play, interesting decision. Should note that the Orchid is now up on Faith Beyond, so perhaps they feel as long as they lock AQ down with that silence, they don't need the BKB yet. I suppose I could agree with that. AQ though, with his Bloodstone up, looks to get a BKB of his own next. And they will smoke up now. All ultis are available on both teams. EHOME, they show themselves up top. This could be really bad for them as Wizard jumps in and gets a double hook spot straight away on Faith BR. They need to keep that profit alive, and AQ sits forward again, straight on that leader. Soulbine's going to be there, but now the Phoenix FB drop is all too much. What do you aim for this team fight if you're EHOME? The answer is nothing. You just die. Because everyone just melts, and the only man to walk out, ironically enough, is the man they jumped first, which was nothing to say.
This is just going from bad to worse for EHOME. They have nothing to stand up against what Newbee has. They have way too many ways to eat right through Styler's immunity. They've got a lot of damage coming out now. They've got great initiation. They've got so much synergy with their Stampede and response that everyone can just follow up these fights quite fast. And this is going to allow them to take that Ferocious Swell, so they're going to have a bit more freedom in taking these fights. They are going to have to wait perhaps for the next Supernova to be up, but even then, I don't think they necessarily need to. They just need to be able to jump someone straight up, and suddenly there's just no way to deal with that for EHOME. Like, if you catch this Lifestealer off guard, he doesn't have anything to really toggle on.
He's the Orchid on the Bane, but AQ was zipping in from a distance, and Faith, he can't even find the Pos 5 Bane. AQ with a huge jump across the map, just on point thanks to the vision Faith was providing. Now the net worth lead at 10k, 21 minutes in. It's gonna take a while for them to try and come back from this, and it's gonna start being a question of whether it's even possible now. Like, Mugi's got a BKB on the courier coming his way. AQ's gonna have his own BKB soon, so suddenly all that that magic damage output not really gonna be that effective. And again, nothing to say he kind of switched his build to a Bloodstone, but I don't think that's the play.
The sustain would be nice, but the issue now is really just surviving. The BKB would allow him to stay a bit longer. Maybe he's questioning that value because of the Fiend's Grip and the Supernova stun. Those can still be a threat to the BKB. I think you just need it, you know, just ensure that at least one of your cores will be able to stand up. So if they do commit Fiend's Grip on Alina, Styler's at least able to tear through some hero at some point.
Mid lane, they have found Alina once again. The Soulbind again gonna come out, but it does nothing to help. Now why? Inkswell would at least connect on two, but you've got AQ who wasn't affected by the Inkswell at all, and he does have the damage output to finish the job off himself. They do lose YG in the process, but you found a core Lina and a support Grimstroke. No problems with that.
Radiant's bottom tower
Definitely
is
not.
under
Still
attack.
a pretty good trade going the way of Newbee. And that should allow him to apply some pressure on this mid tier 2. So EHOME now slowly but surely losing space on the map. And you'd expect a bit more space with something like the Prophet, but Fate Beyond has not been split pushing as effectively as you'd expect, and they get a good scan out onto this MP as well.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Certainly do.
Dire's top
Fate,
tower
but-
is under attack.
Oh,
Zipped on right now though. AQ, he stops a bit early on. Fate.
Dire's top tower is being attacked
Careful,
like
you should see that
nobody's
Phoenix
business.
rotating now. YG, they know where he is, but the teleportation will be there. They will get the D-Ward. Big Lost just had Faith just died by himself. The game just doesn't get any better for them. How's our Lifestealer's farm? He's going for an AC up next. He's got the Hyperstone. And I don't think that's really the issue here. That mid lane, they have jumped. They found the Pango. Sin-Q was just trying to push out the mid wave, but Newbee can just close the gap so quick. You really can't spend an extra second if you can afford not to.
no, definitely not. And Newbee could just slow push like this just by having their center stand in front and cop that damage as we saw in the last game coming out from EHOME that time. Newbee in a very good position to start pressuring this high ground. EHOME still has no answers. It's 11 to 21, 12k advantage for Newbee at 24 minutes in. Already pretty much forced into their base. They do have one last outer tower on their top lane, but that's it. They still need a lot more on their Prophet. They need a lot more on their Lifestealer before these guys can come back in and start fighting again, because so far it's been complete dominance coming out from Newbee with its draft.
So,
Dire's
the
top
mid
tower
lane,
is
this is
under
a very
attack.
dangerous position.
Must I repeat
Newbee won't
myself?
make the jump as AQ wasn't around. You do need to storm follow-up.
Dire's
Wanna
top tower
really
is being
big in
attacked
these
like
fights.
nobody's business.
Q just gonna force the bot lane and join his team once again. This is still great time for EHOME. The longer they can drag this out, the better their chances. Speaking of chances, we should have a look at the Dota Plus probability right now, which is currently 2% for EHOME. That's as low as you possibly get, really. Oh, I guess 0, I guess. Sylar does get the first off the mud golem and make a run for a fun. They have the vortex. AP holds it down. Manning will be up, but the Fiend's Grip again gonna stop him. Stick down. Rolling from Sin-Q tried to control off the side of Newbee, but it's no good. Sin-Q looks like he may go down as well as
Top
AQ.
tower is under attack.
Just try. Aegis does fire just in time for AQ as he walks out. But they'll get that top tier 2 tower, and look at the bot lane, John. AQ setting up to go, and nothing to say it seems. Or is that a bounty rune we're seeing? Alright, there's a bounty there, but as soon as he gets that bounty, nothing to say isn't vision.
Yeah, I believe nothing to say, just use LSA as well, so
Oh boy.
doesn't really have a way to stop this one.
He has the Yules, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
No, no.
Very awkward moment for nothing to say. AQ gets used up, nothing to say, gonna go through mini TP. AQ, he knows.
Oh,
Vortex. Goes a bit
zipped a
too
bit too
forward.
far. Would have been a nice kill to pick up, just an additional charge, and his Bloodstone really just denying any more coming out from EHOME. Still, nothing to be happy that he does get to escape. Not much he can really do at his time, though. Like, they can't really farm up into their jungle. If they go up there right now, it's going to be rough. The supports are going to find it.
For maybe beyond, Silence is there on the pain. They can afford to just go after a +5. Should tick him out. No?
No.
It doesn't. Sunray will be there. Streak of Fate, they start finishing now. Hoopstop, Wizard looking to turn it around, and Paul A getting caught out by, getting zipped up by AQ. He just melted. AQ now with an orchid of his own, and that is just so demoralizing to watch. They couldn't even find a +5 kill. Two of their own in the process, and the tier 3s are now going to be open to Newbee. It's almost a repeat of game 1, except it's the opposite team.
Oh yeah, it's rough. EHOME really has no defense, especially without that soul mine. Just have no control here. That builds up.
No matter. You're going to be there. Rolling Thunder, can they lock him down long enough? Well, not with that egg in place. Nothing to say, getting jumped on by Moogie and does get taken out even without the battle trance. And there's the GG call. EHOME, they understand. Can't do this any further. We'll be going to increasing for us, John. Of course, for the viewers, EHOME, they were the heavy favorites going into the second game, but I think we can both agree Newbee with their draft really just pulled off an easy victory, I want to say. Like, it really didn't look very hard at all.
Definitely. EHOME, they had a lot of gaps in their draft with Newbee this time around. Just a
Radiant team back.
While once the rotations were coming in from Newbee, you didn't see EHOME.
Radiant team back.
While once the rotations were coming in from Newbee, you didn't see EHOME.
Radiant team back.
With Oracle there already as a POS 5 support, just on its
You're gonna still have that egg to deal with right now for EHOME. They're gonna need to respond with a hero that can really just melt it from afar. They're gonna need a way of just responding to the team fight that Newbee is going to bring out. The Arena of Blood that Morris does bring is pretty potent though, and it does have great laning presence. That should be extended with the Oracle around. You're gonna have a lot of sustain on this. It's gonna be hard to keep a lid on it. It's definitely gonna help the cause for EHOME. Gonna be interesting to see what they actually follow up with that more. I think that enjoys that AoE buildup. I like the response from Newbee though. They go with Clockwork, got the Phoenix Clock now for Newbee, and you have a lot of flexibility with these two picks. Either could be a support, could be a core. You've got that flexibility in both of these heroes, and you know, just the combination of Phoenix Clock itself is quite potent. The cog makes it really easy to land. The fire stage that Phoenix makes it really easy to aim that Sunray. So from the laning phase alone, that's going to be a really potent combination. I would have to say though, if this is the support duo we're seeing coming out from Newbee, there are holes there that EHOME can abuse. There's no real hard stun coming out here except for the battery assault to keep someone in place. It's not the most consistent thing, and a really slippery hero can kind of just dip out of that.
well, with that Clockwork being picked up, John, I think there's going to be a bit of a fight. Having that core SF, the free souls with the clock is always nice, but the Requiem with the Mars is better. And EHOME, do you really want to pick up your mid right now?
Remaining.
And maybe if they don't pick it up, Newbee will probably just take it for themselves. So they're gonna have a think about this. It seemed like a great idea to give it away to Newbee, especially considering when you do drop something you don't want is for your whole team to be feared away while that arena's going on. And like I mentioned, with the clock, I have that easy advantage with the 12 souls even before the laning stage.
Yeah, it's something we can't afford to give up in Newbee, just because we have seen that Clockwork SF really pop back. A lot of teams have been running that together again. Although a couple of times they even go to that cog start. We have seen teams just go with the raises. Clockwork just playing aggressive with the battery assault. It's still really potent. And EHOME does go for the troll instead, so they do give the option for Newbee to pick up that SF for themselves, and that's going to be really potent. That would tie up their draft quite. It is going to leave them vulnerable to a stronger mid coming out from EHOME. I think that's the they go with that combination. I like the response though. The Razor for the troll is going to make it really hard for EHOME to get that damage up and running, and it's Newbee has with their lineup anyway. These heroes all come online fast. All of them have really nice power spikes. They've got these all right in. They've got great ways of dealing with what EHOME has already. You have to wonder how this. Yeah.
So I was going to say, not to mention, John, now EHOME, if they go for the SF,
Radiant
right,
team
you can lane the Razor mid and dominate the SF anyway.
Oh.
So they'll ignore it completely and go for this Mirana pick. Now, we've seen this. We both don't believe in this hero. There is no arrow setup as of yet.
No.
And I don't see one coming either, because the last pick here is the mid core for EHOME. I know you're about to say the spear is and Fortune's End,
10
but
seconds
it's
remaining.
not that reliable.
No, definitely.
5 seconds remaining.
This Mirana pick we have seen a couple of times before. I guess the one thing for Newbee right now is that they lack hard lockdown as well, so there should be a lot of ways for the Mirana to just dip in and out. I believe they might actually be looking at a core Mirana. I don't know really. That's the one reason I can get, like, toss that core Mirana up against a Razor. The static link wouldn't be an issue at all, at the very least in that laning phase, so you can get something. It is rather an uninspiring position 4. Like, I would actually rather this as a core, mainly because as a pod 4, there's really not much synergy going on here with what EHOME has. You're gonna need something flat on their mid if they're gonna go with a support Mirana. Even then, again, we've seen this a couple of times. It's just not been too impressive. Right? Like, it just doesn't give you enough.
Do you think Newbee?
Dire team ban.
No, they're not. Go back into the Storm Spirit. I don't mind. You don't really have catch. You do have the Mars, but you can zip out of that. So unless the spear connects,
ban.
he's out. You have the Fortune's End into the arrow, but again, we've talked about that. That's not very reliable. You also have the inbuilt ensnare from the, but that you're basically hoping for RNG. Is this a good Storm game, do you think, or is EHOME going to be able to control this?
No. No, EHOME's not going to be able to do it. You got in the last game. This is almost the same story. None of the reliable skills you want. No one has a heck. No one has a good silence. You have a root from the Oracle and Troll. You have a Force, which isn't the most reliable thing, especially against a very zippy hero like the Storm. You have the arrow from the Mirana as well, which is just not reliable. None of this is just going to be keeping that Storm in place long enough. Even if you could hold that Storm down, what do you do about the Razor if he links up your Troll? Like, he's not going to do the Axe now as well from Newbee. All of these options up and running, Newbee having a beautiful aggressive early game, aggressive lineup here, which looks to be.
Say, John,
oh yeah,
I'm so glad we got to game 3. You know, it's not often you get to see it. It really isn't, but it's always a
10
pleasure.
seconds remaining.
And you can probably give credit to Seb, of course, who made the hero so darn popular, so iconic. If it wasn't already that, and it's just exciting to me. You see that Axe pop out, because so many plays can happen.
Definitely, it's going to be really hard now for EHOME to get anything done. Like, it would just go through the Oracle all the future. Timing doesn't get, if it's right at the boundary, you're just gonna get chopped off. EHOME does close out with a Husker. Last pick, then it is really as a response to anything else. They've got the Oracle Husker, great, but there's an Axe anyway to chop that Husker down.
True, very, very, very true. Still, if nothing to say can get the start he wants, a good lane matchup. The Storm Spirit is going to have a very hard time up against Husker. There's no doubt in that part. If he can get ahead, get a quick armlet into the Halberd, which you generally see from Husker, he could with just overloading on fire speeds anyway. But I have to agree with your sentiment. If he doesn't get to that point, then Wizard is going to be able to control him and take him out anyway with the dunk. So I don't know who to say has the better draft in this game, because both of them look really good. I think it's going to be more so based on these lanes and just outplay their opponent.
I think when it comes down to the lane phase, I do prefer Newbee as well. Like, you have the Phoenix, you have the Clock, you've got the Razor, and the lane coming out here is just going to be really hard to deal with. EHOME, sure, they've got that Oracle plus Morris, Oracle and Troll, which is pretty decent in pumping out Harass and Sustain. The question on my mind is the Mirana. Are you going to get the value from that Mirana? Are you going to be landing those arrows on the enemy to apply that pressure, or are you just going to sit there and soak some EXP with the arrow? Like, that's what we tend to see. They go for the safe play, They get the big creep, they get the range creep, and just kind of soak counteract the aggression he has with the early game line. It's just not going to be enough if you're just going to be soaking there while Clock Phoenix just wreak havoc on the map.
Tend to agree with what you're saying. The only concern I do have for Newbee is that mid matchup. I think AQ is going to have a time. He doesn't though. Maybe AQ's got something up his sleeve.
I reckon it's going to be AQ no matter what. If you wanted to relieve that pressure, you'd actually just maybe toss the Razor up and try to give the Storm a side lane and try to get that rough.
Just have a look at those odds on screen, and it has evened out quite a bit.
Ooh, nice
arrow
arrow.
is going to connect. That's the first arrow of the game, and it lumps into the spear, and that's going to be the first blood coming out. Sin Q will be the one to pick it up on the side of EHOME. Oh, that's a great start.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was the fortunes.
Little people
If EHOME can maintain that aggression with their supports, I think you can get a lot going for yourselves. Like EHOME do have ways of dealing with that early rush. Definitely want to be the aggressors here. They want to get that early start going for themselves. They want to get their Razor online. They want to get level 6 on their feet fast, overtaking the game. If EHOME can match that aggression, it's going to be hard for Newbee to lever an advantage in this game, and that might be enough for EHOME to really just get ahead again. You have to look at that mid lane. Can AQ survive long enough, or is he going to lose out too much to this Husker? And if he doesn't lose out to the Husker, which seems very likely, Newbee has side lanes hard.
It's in this last game as well, where they had nothing to say on the laner, who had the clear lane advantage, and just a couple rotations made it so AQ could just catch up and take over the lane. I wonder if Newbee can replicate that performance. It's not going to be as easy, and I think EHOME will be very ready for it this time around. And it's a Husker. He's already got the level 1 Berserker's Blood, so he's got that inbuilt heal already active for himself. AQ.
Denied.
It's going to be hard, especially once you hit level 2 and nothing to say. He's going to have fire spears up, and suddenly you're going to be on fire constantly, and that's when things get a bit more challenging in the Storm.
Definitely. It does look like AQ is leveraging this early start quite nicely, though. He has level advantage right now, so it's going to be a while until nothing can pump it back in. Has burned through 1 Tango, but again, with that added regen, he's going to be fine. Has the Burning Spears up, so level 2's up and running for that mid lane. Should be able to trade nicely, though. Up top, why?
Yeah, he'll burn out to the Fire Spirits of YG. Now Sylar going to also burn quite low. I don't think the Icarus Dive damage is going to be enough. The YG, again, on this Phoenix, just already putting so much pressure at this top lane.
Yeah, that's a solo pickup for the most part as well. You saw Wizard all the way back at that 1, getting his own creeps up and farming that out. So while is he having a lot of impact on his Phoenix, you really have to be careful. They can't afford to lose out in these lanes, even with that lane playing well. You know, you have to slow down this aggression and the XP gain that he wants to leverage. Oh boy.
Vortex mid lane, this is what we talked about, nothing to say. It's YG again on this Phoenix. Just level 2, doesn't even have the level 2 Fire Spirits yet, but doesn't care. AQ with the early Vortex, they pick up the kill. And I thought EHOME would be better prepared for that kind of rotation. Apparently not yet.
Yeah, it's rough, right? Like, he rotates Sin Q out to apply some pressure for his own.
Runner Sin Q beating a kill away now. The overload was Q really giving it to them. So he finds his first kill of the game. So 1 kill, 1 assist, no deaths on this Storm. Sure, he does have to run back to the fountain, but man, he's got a great start. He's going to be able to pick up his bottom soon, or his brown boots, whichever he prefers. This is not what you want with your EHOME, their top lane. even Zax, they're trying to control him up. Wizard, he's starting to get low. But with that Ring of Trask, he's been surviving long enough. And he get away. He's still healing, but Sin-Q does finally have the damage. It looked pretty close. That's a concern.
Definitely is. Like, they are committing a lot of resources around, right? You have to constantly have Marana with that Oracle to get the setup, find these kills. So it can't be everywhere in the map at the same time. You know? You're gonna be copying weaker lanes in this case, and that is gonna be beyond right now.
Yeah, Faith Battery Assault gonna be there. Faith Beyond not survive, and that was only level 1 battery assault, but that mini stun with the Razor follow-up going to be more than enough. But now Sin-Q will rotate over and definitely wanted to go for some kind of kill on the Razor, but never mind that. Mid lane, AQ again going to find nothing to say thanks to the rotation of YG, and Y, he'll be slowly but surely chased down, but I don't think you get out of this one. Vortex does connect it, he tries to bury fire, but is it going to really do him any good? Probably not. YG, it's literally a repeat. YG's got a killing spree again, sub 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's 6-3 now. 1k advantage, less than 1k advantage for Newbee, but they are getting that aggression out. We talked about this from the draft. The lineup from Newbee just comes online and snap, and EHOME, they can do that, but they need to stick their supports together, whereas Newbee, they could just rotate separately and find so much more in these side lanes, so much more in the mid lane. AQ, we were talking about the Husker having an advantage here. It's not worked out that way when the rotations from Newbee are just this effective.
Well, Spear from Faith Beyond bot lane, he didn't find Faith. They walk out of the clock. Still sitting at level 2, but still being just as effective as he was level 3. Mugi on the Razor, he's just been freaking farming. No pressure whatsoever. Even up that top lane, like Sala, he's doing a pretty good job on the troll. I don't know, it still concerns me a little bit more when the Razor, I mean, I've got to tell them. Faith Beyond. Batteries away. It's one battery assault, but gives Mugi time to come in. Still Spear. Leaves lock Mugi away. Faith Arrow is going to connect. They could go for this. Mugi threatening with his own presence. Doesn't even have static link yet, but he will in a moment, and Faith Beyond with the spear from a mile away, just barely landing. But now with Mugi chasing, it looks like he cannot sustain. And now Mugi looks to turn around on the supports. Why? Probably can't get out of this, or maybe he can. The Plasma Field is definitely going to slow him down a little bit. He'll purge it off with the Fortune's End. And why? Is he really going to just chase down the T1? He does get arrowed, and that should be enough to force Mugi back. But you lost your Mars for the sake of killing off a Clockwork. And Mugi, he almost took down 2 supports on top of that.
Yeah, it's rough, right? Like, they even have to rotate it down. They do find Phoenix.
YG getting jumped on. Sam going to be there on the stop. He got the Vortex off. Now with the Cox, is it enough? They had the Fate's Edict on the Husker, but doesn't block off enough damage. And now Y getting low again. Sin-Q, you got to run. Just leap away. It's not safe. Faith Beyond does hit the spear up onto Faith. And Faith should die here to the arrow of Sin-Q, and does. But AQ still has a double damage rune active. He doesn't have enough mana to pursue any further kills. But I believe that is the 3rd death of the Husker this game, and in fact it is. And AQ actually finds his 3rd kill through that engagement. And I just can't see how Newbee could possibly be unhappy with that.
No, definitely so. Like, Fate has had so much impact. Rotation.
Off with the Fortune's End of Mine. They're going to just chase down the T1. He does get arrowed, and that should be enough to force Mugi back. But you lost your Mars for killing off a Clockwork. And Mugi's Edict
yesterday clump heroes to try to find a clockwork, and it was for the most part just Mookie.
Dyer's tower has fallen.
Up the
Radiant's
Mars
top tower is
with the
under attack,
cards,
I believe.
and then having Mookie's
not
back
in a good
was
way.
enough to deter 3 heroes, and then suddenly you have the Axe on top. Yeah, I see Phoenix on top of that as well.
Sorry, I
None of
just
these
noticed that
rotations from
Dyer's
EHOME paying
bottom
off
tower
just
is
yet.
under
At
attack.
the very least, they're getting time on Styler to farm up. He is working towards the defusal. It doesn't feel like that's going to be enough just yet. He's going to need a lot more in response to what Newbee has running for themselves before he can really stand up. I believe he's going to need at least a BKB on top of everything else. Or
You know what the
in
beauty of
response
all this is for Newbee? Not only are they still finding all
to
the
what
kills
Newbee
from
has
that,
running for themselves
but we haven't even
before he
looked
can really
AQ
stand up.
for
I believe
ages.
he's going to need
He's got a Kyre up, and he just picked up his point booster. It's going straight into the Bloodstone again.
at least a BKB on top of everything else. Or
You know what the
in
beauty of
response
all this is for Newbee? And now they finally smoke up with AQ. Not only are they still finding that bot
what
lane,
Newbie has running for themselves
but we say
before he
it's
can stand up. I believe he's going to need
He's got a Kyre up, and he just picked up his point booster. It's going straight into the scan that last moment. They know Face has that hookshot ready. Now they've got Smoke up, getting caught out with no vision.
stand up. I believe he's going to need
He's got a Kyre up, and he just picked up his scan out. Come back in this. Tell me, John, how?
It's rough. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. You're hoping that the troll's gonna be enough to carry you through this, but it's a very tall order for Styler to really put this on his back. It's a heavy load to carry. I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough. EHOME, you know, they went with a combination with the Oracle and the Husker. They were trying to go for the worst attacks. Last pick here.
Going on Faith Beyond doesn't go any further. Moonlight Shadow, they'd love to find the Storm. It'd be an amazing kill, but he has an Invis rune. And so Faith's gonna run right past him. AQ just playing around. He knows what they're up to. And Faith is completely surrounded. The actual Faith from the Clockwork trying to bait the mid. Meanwhile, mid, Wizard doing the same. They know they're Moonlight Shadowed right now. Miss, and they have to run. You've got to watch out for that Clockwork Hook, which is available. Mid lane. Wizard. Stick charges, and he is very, very tanky, but he is going down fairly quick. It's a huge kill for setting up for this very kill. He kind of looking for his way to victory. Does find AQ, but does die in the end. Now that killed AQ. Maybe you call that worth.
That was a lot for gold. Good way to highlight the police. I believe he does for now in that trade. Still not the cleanest trade, not the way you want the trades to be going. But he might be able to find more now. EHOME, they're starting to find a couple of kills here and there. Newbee are slipping up just a bit. They can't really afford to. You give EHOME a way back in. Of course, you're still dealing with Husker. Even if you can dunk through that promise with the Axe, there's a lot of durability that nothing to say it's gonna get as this goes on. You don't want to wait for that disarm to be up and running and KB, because that just make your life that much harder. So you really don't want to give EHOME those options. You've got to keep applying the pressure. Don't drop these kills, because that will let EHOME bounce back in.
Top lane. He's almost got that Spirit Vessel. It's gonna be a real problem for this Husker. Faith Beyond. Moonlight Shadow gonna be there. They were underneath an circle of the Radiant with that Moonlight Shadow up. So they are aware, Newbee, that this is happening. AQ still kind of just sticking around. He's not really scared as they do have the Phoenix Egg. And YG gonna jump in. He goes dive. He needs a second. He gets the ult stuff. And that's just gonna work against him. If we lost, the arrow does connect. AQ still goes in and bang. Straight to that Oracle. Gives to that false promise. And why can't anything about it? He'll die. The buyback was there from YG. He still has the egg. They keep going. Thank you. Gets spotted by that Sun, but he's way too far. So EHOME still do find a decent enough pickoff, do force out a buyback.
Oh.
And, late. AQ getting caught out alone.
Yeah, that's a big one. EHOME again, they're finding these small single pops that Newbee are slipping up with. And they are starting to find a way back in this game. Newbee, again, they have to be really careful about these kills are off. They've lowered their advantage just 3K. It's 23-12, 18.5 minutes in. EHOME can really just build back in if kills keep bleeding. Like, you take a look at Sylar, he's right behind that Razor Network, has overtaken AQ, and even nothing to say. It's just about a tab behind that Storm, and he had a really rough in on Husker, managing to recover quite nicely. So, giving EHOME the tools now to play toe-to-toe up to draft here in Newbee. And that could spell issues here.
Cause for celebration.
They have Shadow Blade up on the collar as well, so they could go for this. The Wizard getting called up onto base, did not to jump in. That was probably the smartest decision as EHOME were right behind waiting. Beyond with the Shadow Blade on the troll, the Diffusal, they look to be ready to go. They will try and take a team fight now. You still have the problem of the Mugi Razor, who's going to be quite detrimental to this Hustler or Troll.
Tower is under attack.
But if you can catch them out, could be huge for EHOME. But they're going to try and go for this top tier 2 push for now. EHOME, they're already going to be there to defend. It looks like they're just setting up to protect their own outpost.
Dire's top tower is being attacked like
Pop Moonlight Shadow, but it's still not for nothing. They're going to try and go for a T2 tower train.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Must I Radiant's bottom tower is being subjected to extreme
Smoke up. Smoke is 3 and start running directly south.
I couldn't have predicted this.
Being run into Y. This is actually calling some illusions mid lane. So he gives it away. Smoke shot gonna land from Faith. Some looking to find target on the troll. Never mind. They just run away. They understood that one, the Oracle being able to false promise wasn't worth the team fight.
Incoming!
Can you find anything out of the Oracle? Doesn't really look that way. He's going to be back up in 5 seconds anyway.
In fact,
More than fine to defend this mid-tier 2. The Sylar is an invis. Get the hell up. Noogie pops some Husker Madness. And AQ looks for a target. They'll go up top. They'll stay down. And it is going to be nothing to say again on the Husker going down as Wizard sets up with the axe.
Radiant's bottom tower is
And that should make it a lot easier to get this mid-tier 2.
Cause for celebration?
You do see the BKB up and running on, I think to say, like he's had that on the Husker now. It's going to cause issues for Newbee if they do stagger fights, so they got to really tough. They jump onto wall.
Again, the blink call coming out from the
Radiant's bottom tower is being subjected to
It's just so easy to pick up a kill because you have AQ on that storm. You can just sit in and follow up. Newbee now
has fallen.
leading one outer tower remaining for EHOME. That's the bottom tier 2. EHOME still just far behind, 4K net worth behind Newbee, but more importantly, it just seems like they have momentum in this game. Pop the Moonfire. Arrow, scout out. They'd love to get the jump on AQ, but while he's zipping around, it's very hard to get the scoop into the arena. looks like they'll find nothing.
And I do like seeing EHOME pop up and let to keep trying to find kills. It has not been paying off.
Hook shot gonna be there, Paige just gonna lock him in place. Sylar, he doesn't get the battle pants off the time. It's just too deep to farm. Like, Wiz is just all over the map of that book. And AQ, we know how fast he can get there with the with that zip.
And you've also got Fade hook shot, of course, so you've got all these to chase someone splitting like that. It's hard, but there's really not much you can expect Sylar to do. Like, he went for the Shadow Blade to get this done, right? He wanted that mobility. And it's a risk you have to take. There is a scrub from EHOME. They are playing in 4 versus 5, though.
They might try. They see Wizard, but everyone else is right behind him on the high ground. Doesn't seem to make any sense trying goes back without control, but instead maybe they rush a Roshan, but the flare. The time is played, and his clockwork this game has just been on point. And EHOME aren't backing off, they're gonna go for it.
Dyer's bottom tower
Faith is waiting patiently. Sylar will be back up in about a second. He's gonna TP straight towards the now. All for the Yule, they're expected to win him into the arrow, but it's not with that. Speeding back into the has got the BKB up and down. He is able to burst it down. Up to say has his mind. Meanwhile, Sylar, who are you fighting? He'll hold up the Razor. AQ. He gets the support. That's his pop. Listen, jumps in with the ball. He's trying to help out. The middle of the way. Now comes in from with the control. 3-man calls. The arena's there. Not playing still, man. And he's gonna drop the fuck. Oh, Page from nothing to say. And it could be an up AQ. Will also go. And how do they win that team fight?
Just
What an absolute mess.
just a complete mess coming out from the Newbee. Dropping your lead to less than 1K. Keep it full wide from the EHOME. A lot of skills going onto the control. They extended the team fight out there, and the fact that EHOME did not stop the arena until later on just managed to give EHOME the tools to turn around. It's all these items that have been building up for like BKB on nothing that much longer and fight and really mitigate the damage coming out. Man, isolate the split up that ramp area as well caused a lot of issues for Newbee's fight. They were forced to buy back in to no avail. So a huge swing way of EHOME. They get the first stages of the game as well. And that is going to put Newbee on a bit back as they keep all 2K behind from all those tiebacks.
That is huge. I mean, I believe Recap said about 4K gold. They gained 4K after that one team fight.
It seems that
as you can see, the 3K is now active for EHOME.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
No, I think
I have no reason to lie about such things.
How did that happen? It seems to be going Newbee's way.
Strange to say, Radiant's
But
middle
nothing to
tower
say
is
with
under
the
attack.
It's just survived over and over again. Just couldn't burst down. They could just
Radiant's
sit
middle tower is
lane,
under
TP
attack.
down and just clear out the brick plane, but nothing to say.
I would like to point out that Radiant's
the mid
middle
too.
tower has fallen.
And EHOME is on the comeback.
Oh yeah, it's these BKBs that are finally up rare as well. Like you've got the 10 sharp up from Sylar now. You thought maybe you've nothing to say. Great if that was his first huge as well. Still has 9 seconds up, and he finally is having Melry. So you have this arm from the bottom, and now this arm on the Husker. His use his having Melry. So you've got all to break effect as they are. And he has to be conscious about his speed. He still has a lot of power left in him, even with his deficit. It feels a little too much.
Brain's getting caught out now by the call. I'm locked on the back. Hooked on out. Can't afford to die right now. What do you can?
Dyer's structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
T3 is still standing, it's not going to be that easy. Newbee doing the run, still pushing the other lanes. Oh, high pressure.
I don't mean to be alarmist, but Dyer's
more
bottom
time
tower is
to get
under
more
attack.
Maybe trying to come back. Now see AQ
Sorry, I
with
just
10-second
noticed that Dyer's
charge
bottom
available
tower
on
is
him.
under attack.
That might be all the difference.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Mid lane.
Shadow.
Have to back off. It does show off. Shadow's gonna be there. This looks like a bad newbie. It doesn't matter. He don't last for didn't care at all.
Oh, B.
Hey, it's Zayn trying to back through the mid lane. Gonna actually right in the face. There's no wall at all.
Illusion.
He became his battle plans advanced. The static here is there, sucking away all the damage. All the it'll go down. It's gonna just try and fight through one out. The hit is there. They can get that down to ASAP. Almost going. Will does get there all the way. Now it's Q. They did it tough to say, trying to man fight basically by himself. It's not big enough this time. That just. He's gonna try to get him to run forward. Nice little you stop the other side and find things, but now setting things in there. This is coming in from the Husker, nothing to say. Can he actually this one? He's lost too much damage. He definitely cannot. And Big Young, understanding that, just speeds out.
Strange to say, Radiant's middle tower is under alarmist.
He was there. He did
bottom tower
long
is
as the
under
problem was lost all his damage through that static.
Sorry,
Had
I
no
just
chance.
noticed that Dire's bottom
Anything
tower is
else
under
up.
attack.
Yeah, prepare spot to be in. Everything was first like that, and someone gets a jump on them, you will lose a lot to try to save him. And this time around, it's EHOME putting forward hand in that fight. It was a bit messy. They did still drop Phoenix in the end, but he did get the egg off completely. And at level 20, 20 of weight, it's gonna be a lot harder to deal with that egg. So you have spikes on Phoenix really hard with.
Not gonna be on phase B. He is gonna be drop phase down, but the rate is able to just take the CPU and does take him out. They take down the Mars. Tried to go for the combo steal. Ethan looks work could have just dropped a sentry wall. So he saw the invis of the Mars. Just wait and take that up person with strength for hook shot. I just kind of wonder for EHOME, what items
The jungle has everything acts designed.
They're gonna need something like I think a Lincoln is gonna be really good. Either their Husker or the Troll. Just block. That's that. In fact, even a Force Staff to try to help your hero break them. I think is gonna be big. A way to physical cores, get your damage out. You already have the good disarms. Your Oracle and your Troll. I mean your Hut. But you know, those disarms are great, but once they run out, movies do a lot of damage. And you're doing damage to the cores. So you're linking up with someone I guess would be big, because right now they don't have the BKBs. They haven't turned on a bit too late after that when it's running, and that just causes a lot of issues for EHOME. They've got to be able to start faster from them. What we're finding out here is that counter initiation sometimes just isn't too clean. Whoever gets that first advantage, of course, is playing with a numbers advantage, and that's really the deciding factor for this game is.
Mid lane, nothing to say. Staying by himself. He thought about making the jump. YG, he threw a few fire spits in, but didn't risk it. I gotta tell you, I love the item build coming out from AQ. He's going straight for an Aghanims and he's got it now. He's gotten that level 20 talents. 5 seconds on that Vortex. 3.1 seconds of duration. AoE Vortex is simply a mini form. It's gonna be hard if EHOME get without popping BKB. They could get bursted way too quick.
And we've seen that a lot of times already, where if they get clumped up, they get treated in a cop. It's gonna be much worse with this Vortex than running out from AQ.
also got the calls from Wizard anyway. He can just follow up on the call. Double call coming out, and that is going to be two supports straight away. AQ who'll go for more. Nothing that he is main target, but he is out of mana on the Storm. Generation. They have Blink in a couple seconds on the Axe, but it won't be quick enough. What's down? They could try a high ground attempt. They will not, however. Running down towards the south, they want to try and find Sylar. He's already TP'd out.
I think right now, the respects to high ground potential EHOME had. Are playing in the area again. Mars arena is have a lot of value in that ramp, and of course, he kind of enjoys some jump up as well. A lot of caution.
Speed from the Mars, and that's a lot of damage coming in from the Storm Fate. Forced to use his first BKB charge just to survive the damage up. But Wizard, he gets the call off through the Moonlight Shadow. Fate, he won't let the backlines. Spirit Vessel going to beat down Fate beyond. He still runs away in time. Now they turn on the clockwork. They can at least take him down first. And Fate does eventually die to the fire. Newbee, they're not done. Get the call once again, this time on Sylar. Aesthetically, just sapping all that damage away. But Fate beyond jumping back in, trying to help out. Yes, he full close. What's on the Sylar? They've got the arrow on the Storm, and now it's coming out. But they've got Sylar on the troll. Luke gonna survive. Get speed. Since it's just kill me instead. And he will take down. Newbee on the razor to get out of there. Team fight from EHOME, and it just looked like a terrible start. Too overly confident with that chase onto Faith Beyond and confident.
It's gonna be rough. Faith missed that hook and was just pacing up. He lost a lot of value. Should have just taken their wins and called it out. Still, Roche can buy, you know, they did buy back in the Phoenix to try to slow this down.
Nothing to say. Roshan being taken. He had hook shot there. He's gonna go for the steal, it looks like.
Boom! There it goes.
Rocket Flare will give him all the HP from the set. It's a very risky play. He has locked off the Roche. Faith has to find a nice entrance for this shot. Otherwise, you're basically giving your life away. No, still taking this. He's going to be there on the clock, but it's not good. Gets in there, and now the hook shot does land on him. He still grabs the game, still manages to pick it up through that start. And something to say now with the false promise, surviving, trying to fight back the best he can. He will eventually lose that Aegis, but he does get back in the pot. Fly back immediately out of the arena of love. Arrow lands for Wizard, but he got the KB off in time. They want that Razor. Here comes AQ with the Vortex, but he only caught one of them as EHOME. They look good going. Boogie, where's the stun? The arrow, it does not land. It was a millimeter off target. And YG with one to go down on the Phoenix. That's actually a dieback on that Phoenix. And so EHOME, although they get their Aegis essentially denied, they still somewhat successful team fight, forcing out a buyback from the clock, forcing out a dieback from the Phoenix.
I think that's overall a big win for EHOME. They managed to get a lot of the objectives on map. They stuck to buybacks to support the Newbee. They all forced the Newbee to be on the back foot now. They don't quite have enough just yet on Newbee Forest to really counteract the power EHOME. Facing off against a pretty fogged up trigger, up against a successful recover Husker. And it's hard. They don't take care of it fast enough. We see our Razor go for a full stat kid. It doesn't feel like it does enough to mitigate the damage from anymore. Like, it's done even or so that's done even if he's fully learned. So that's something Newbee has to really watch out for. Is that they are starting to take off here on their heroes.
What are they lacking though? Damage they're lacking? Like, do they need faster burst potential?
I'd say I think that's a big part. No one has blade mail or axe not have a blade mail.
Radiant's
You know, we don't have a blade mail on our clock, and just having that blade mail would kill EHOME off themselves. early dash out, but they look to really come out. Like, that would break for EHOME and give Newbee an opening. If they invest in that item a couple of days.
Going high ground, EHOME. Got to chase up, nothing to say. Not trying to do the days, but now the speed. It is with the hit. And he burns it down, nothing to say. Trying to get the damage over the point there as the hook was in the back to make sure they couldn't pop off. To say he's not fall over, he eats the cheese. He doesn't risk his life. How much he can control these guys. The ball into the land. Now Rinatho locking down Mookie. Razor, they don't have the damage yet. The puck comes in now on the troll. The only person to die was Slave from the Clockwork, as he did sacrifice his life to ensure they got Wizard out safely.
Oh, look. Radiant's bottom tower has
The
fallen.
high ground. E3 will go down. Nothing to say now. It's going to be a slow process, especially thanks to those fire spirits of Phoenix. If you now back into the spear again, he caught Wizard. Can you save him this time? It doesn't look like they can, as the false promise will throw up to save his leg. He's dead. He says, I'm through it. I think he can. He's been healed up. The Phoenix and the dive coming in. 3 heroes with no buybacks available on the side of PPR.
Believe it, still Radiant's fire.
This big Megas. They're going to go for T4. They want to finish the game.
I mean, it's Razor's can't they hold out against 5?
Oh, he's got to make magic with Newbee. He just in, but the Yule all lands. Getting locked down, not enough. Not quite yet, but the Fortune set will fall. Still, they don't care. The Ancient now. It's been exposed. Sorry to say, it was 10 to T4. All that was happening in this game could be over. And you, the vortex, but look at that.
Someone has said
Mama is just battle chance and EHOME. What a comeback of the China region for ESL LA. My God.